let's turn the wheel of time and move to day 3. This will be our last special encounter before we go into the regular encounters. Crossing the Sabrone. The Sabrone River, a glistening vein of trade running the length of Daylor, playfully beckons as it shimmers in the daylight up ahead. But with so few bridges in these parts, this crossing is an obvious spot for enemy scouts and traps. A journey of this importance leaves only 2 options. Tucking the ears and trying to blend in is risky, but quite efficient. A boat at dusk carries less chance of discovery, but requires business with the Molnor, a trading syndicate with their own set of drawbacks. As you can see by these icons, both options are going to be outside of battle, so neither of them are going to cause a battle. We can either tuck your ears and walk like a commoner. Then we'll have to roll a d6 for each party member, which is only 1 for this game. On any 1 or 2 your party is spotted, find the first tyrant encounter in your deck and place it on top. Shuffle the remaining cards and keep them underneath. Or we can hire the Molnor. The Molnor are surprisingly easy to work with. Not only do they drop us safely on the east bank of the river under the cover of darkness, they also offer a trove loot gift. Maybe our success is good for business. Then we have to shuffle a special encounter Molnor traders into your encounter deck. So you have to decide which one to go for. Do we want to go for trove loot, or do we want to go for the d6 and then just getting a training point? Because look, if we do the hire the Molnor, we don't get a training point. But that trove loot, it's so... we gotta go trove loot. Come on, trove loot. Trove loot is what it is. Since we hired the Molnor, the first thing we're going to have to do is shuffle in the special encounter Molnor into the deck. We're also going to give ourselves 1 progress, and we get a trove loot. First things first, let's get our 1 progress. We're then going to have to shuffle this special encounter in with all the other encounters, so I'm going to do that. Let's also grab our trove loot. Trove loot is a special type of loot. Unlike the regular loot where we have it available to us right away, we actually have to unlock this trove loot, but then usually it's something really cool. We have to roll the loot dice, or the lock-picking dice, I should say, and we have to get a specific lever, trap, and force in order to unlock it. That's a 2, 3, and 5 for this one. So now we're in the recovery stage, we can try and lockpick this, and that is what we're going to do. There are 4 dice for lockpicking. 1 is inherently has more trip icons than any other, and it's yellow. 1 has more lever icons than the other ones, and it's brown. And 1 has more force than the other, and it's gray. But each one will still have another type on there as well. So it's kind of think of it like 1 through 4 are the trip, 5 and 6 are 1L, 3L. And for this one, we've got 3 force and 1 force. And on this one, we've got 3 trip and 1 trip. But otherwise, their colors kind of match what you're going to be seeing as what's most likely to roll. You also have this initiative die. This initiative die can be used for different abilities, and we'll go through that as we roll the dice. You have to lockpick trove loot from left to right. So that means we have to unlock the lever first, then the trip, and then the force. So this is going to be really hard to unlock in one go, because the lever and the trip aren't terrible. But the force is 5. That's going to be hard to get. So let's start trying to unlock this. What we'll do is we'll take these dice and we'll roll them. What I needed for this was at least a 2 lever, and I have exactly that, actually more. I have 3 lever and then actually 4 trip, which is awesome. If only I could keep this, I have automatically unlocked the first 2, but I can't. This would let me switch one of these to a different icon, so I could change a 3L to a 3T or something like that. But I'm going to keep this one and use it as our lock or lever. So now we have to get a 3 trip. So we have to re-roll these dice. Unfortunately, right here we only have 1 trip. But this die will let me change 1 from a force to a trip, or any sort of icon to a different one. So I'm going to use this as a 2 trip. 2 trip plus 1 trip, exhaust both of these, and that will unlock 2 parts of the trove loot. So now 2 spots of the trove loot are open. I only have to open up the force. I can show this by placing my card right here and having the 2 dots match with those 2 spots. That means 2 parts of this trove loot are unlocked, just the force is left. This means we've completed day 3, so let's move to day 4 and draw our new encounter. Oh no, day 4 and a tyrant encounter. This could be bad. Care package. When you find boxes in the middle of the road in Daylor, always exercise caution. These 3 were made to look like they contain valuable supplies. Probably a trap. Instinct calls for scouting the perimeter before arriving back in front of the crates. Carefully opening the first 2, it's surprising to actually find some items of value. The 3rd box, however, has that unmistakable goblin odor seeping through that rough-hewn wood. The fact that goblins love dangerous pranks and that this could be one of them is fully confirmed when the paint on the lid is revealed, reading, "Regards from the Goblin King." We could either, I draw the line at the smelly boxes with goblin heads on them. I ignore that box, and then we can just leave it alone and then just have regular baddie points and do a regular battle. Or we can attempt to disarm it. Each party member must name a lock type, lever, trip, or force, and reach 3 of that type by making a lockpick attempt. If successful, the box is disarmed, and the bomb inside can be used later to destroy the Goblin King's throne, instantly at the start of the battle. Place this card in the Gearlock's loot area. If unsuccessful, party takes 2 damage before the start of battle, and then we have regular baddie points. Why would we not try this? Yeah, 2 damage would stink, but come on. This is awesome. I think we're going to pick... Let's pick trip. I rolled a bunch of trip before, so let's try and get 3 trip. I'm assuming unlike a regular test where you get to re-roll the dice once if you fail, I think you have to do this in 1 roll. So, let's see if we can do it. Ooh, we can re-roll 1. Thank goodness. I've got 2 trip here. I'm going to re-roll the one that's most likely to get me trip. Oh, yes. 2 trip plus 1 trip equals, if I can get these straight, there we go. 2 trip plus 1 trip equals 3 trip. Yes! I'll place this in my loot area here, but that means I can only hold 1 more piece of loot. But this loot is worth holding on to. Remember my innate ability. I can look at the first enemy in one of these active stacks and cycle it to the bottom if I want. So let's look at it. It's a troll youngin. A troll youngin. We're keeping that one for sure. So we're on day 4, so we're going to have 4 level 1 baddies out. Our first one is this troll youngin. He's melee, so we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll then put him in the blue row right here. He is initiative 3, so we'll set his blue die to 3 and put it in the ini meter. We then have a goblin bomber. These guys are ranged. They attack 2 people. Oh, they look gross. 3, 2 initiative, and that's going to be ranged. Oops. And their initiative will be 5, so he's going to be real fast. Then we have a Goblin Rider. They have 3 health, and he'll be in 3, spot 3, and he is a Mischief 1, and he is melee, so he'll go over here. Now, his initiative is 4. Now, what Mischief does is before he rolls to attack, he will get to take 1 die out of your active slot. So if you had a skill die there, you would exhaust. If you had a defense die, he just takes it out of your active slot. So he is not good. And our last is going to be a Goblin Sandbagger. He only has 2 health, but he rolls 1 attack and 1 defense. And he also has a Mischief, and he is ranged, so he'll go right here. And his initiative is 4. Let's roll Gilly's initiative die. Ooh, a 5. Yes! And a 5, we get to go before everyone else. Thank goodness. So, we'll start out with us. I should probably decide where I'm going to place Gilly before I start going. I'm going to place Gilly here so that the 2 melee guys can't even get to me this turn. And I get to roll 3 dice with my dexterity since I don't need to move. And I'm going to have 3 attack dice all going towards that Goblin Bomber since he can hit 2 people. Looking for 3 points of damage here. Oh yeah, 2, 4, 5. Wow, 5 points of damage. If only I could hold on to that for some other enemy. 5 points, we can say sayonara to this Goblin Bomber. Nice. And that means he doesn't even get to act. Next will be this Goblin Sandbagger. He'll roll 1 attack and 1 defense. And he's going to attack me since he's ranged. Let's see what he gets. Oh my gosh, 2 bones! Can you ask for anything better than that? Now, if you look closely, you see that little X? That means that Mischief doesn't come into effect unless he rolls a bone. So he rolled a bone, but I have no active dice in my active slots, so it doesn't do anything to me. But I just wanted you to see that. He would put a shield on, except for he rolled a bone, so that's all there is for the Goblin Sandbagger. Next is the Goblin Rider, and he's just going to take 2 steps towards me. That's all he can do. Same thing with this Troll Youngling. He'll take 2 steps towards me as well. That's all that they can do. So now we'll move to round 2, and we'll go back to my turn. This time, I'm going to roll 2 attack and my Wolverine die, and I'm going to target this Goblin Sandbagger. I'm leaving myself open a little bit, but I'm hoping to take out a second enemy here. I'm going to count that. I'll just re-roll it. Let's see. There we go. Okay. 2 damage, and we've got our Wolverine at a 2-1. 2 attack dice means that we took out this Goblin Sandbagger since he did not roll any defense. That is just insanely lucky. And then we'll bring out our Wolverine, and we'll put him right here with 2 health. Next is the Goblin Rider. He is going to take 2 steps, and he's going to attack me with 1 attack die. He's actually pretty terrible with that Mischief 1, but I don't have any defense dice anyways, so he doesn't take anything out of my active slot. And he hits me for 1 damage. I'll take the 1 point, and that ends his turn. Next is that Troll Youngin, and he's going to attack my Wolverine. He'll roll 1 attack and 1 defense. Ooh, his defense boned, which is great because he's careless. Since he's careless, he's going to take 1 point of damage on his own, but he does hit my Wolverine for 1. My Wolverine will take 1 point of damage, but you see this careless on his little token? If he rolls a bone, he takes 1 point of damage. So he's down to 3 health because he hurt himself. We are on to round 3. Flip this, and we're the first to go. First, we'll spend 1 dexterity to keep that Wolverine out. He'll do 1 point of damage to this Troll Youngin. Then, we're going to roll 2 attack dice, trying to hit the... Let's see, how much does he have? He only has 2. So let's try and hit that Troll Youngin and take him out. Just need 2 1s here. Yes! 2 1s. Sayonara, Troll. Since that Troll only had 2 health left, he is history. That leaves only this Goblin Rider, and he is going to go, and he's going to attack me, because he's still adjacent to me. Rolling 1 attack die. Oh, he hits me for 2! Uh-oh. To be honest, I'm really lucky. I have 1 health left, but I have survived, and I think we should be able to take him out next round. Let's move to round 4. So we'll go first. First thing we'll do is we'll pay 1 dexterity to keep our Wolverine out. He can move up to 2 spaces, so he'll move here and attack for 1. That Goblin Rider now only has 1 health left. We're going to roll 2 attack dice, and actually no, he has 2 health left. 1, 2, yeah, 2 health left, but we're going to roll 2 attack dice, just looking for 2 1s to take him out. Come on, 2 1s. Yes! Well, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to do it, but with 2 damage, he is history, and that completes this encounter. Yes! We don't get anything additional for doing this specific encounter, but we do get 1 progress, 1 training point, and 1 loot. We'll move 1 step closer to that Goblin King. Yes! Let's snag our loot. Oh, sweet. Throwing Axe. It has 2 uses. During your turn, roll 1 attack die and deal its damage to any unit on the battle mat. It does not cost dexterity. I love this tantrum effect. If you know Tantrum at all, he has throwing axes as a consumable, so you can give this to him and then he can have it as a consumable and does 2 points of damage, I think. So that's why he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take that from you. I'm playing a little bit conservative with Gilly because I'm going to do 1 dexterity for my upgrade. I'm not doing another skill, and it's because I want to be able to roll 3 attack dice while keeping my Wolverine out. And this way, I'll be able to do that with 4 dex. For the recovery phase, I'd really love to open up that trove loot, but I only have 1 health, so I gotta do this. I gotta get 4 health. So now I'm back, or 3 health, so now I'm back up to 4 in total. This will end day 4. Time to move on to day 5. First things first, let's grab our new encounter. Invited for dinner, not to dinner, for dinner. Wakey, wakey, little critter, a deep voice bellows, as a putrid stench fills my nose and mouth. I cough and spit to gain my breath, but the air is thick with the smell of rotten fruit. Or worse, something pokes my side and I start to swing. Swing? Why am I swinging? This question forces my eyes open. Everything is upside down and swaying uneasily. Oh, I'm getting seasick. I look up and see nothing but green grass. Gaining my senses, I'm frighteningly aware that I am bound and hanging, legs lashed to a tree branch. Below me is a boiling pot. Beside it, standing 2 troll mules, currently fighting over what to add to their stew. Gearlock stew. My choices here is I can pick your locks and escape. Make a lockpick attempt on a 3F2L lock. You escape with loot, just not your own. If successful, discard all your current loot and draw 2 new loot. No, I like my loot. If you fail to pick both parts of the lock, remove 2 HP and take the other choice. Trick the trolls. I'd taste better after being unbound and rolled in fire ants. It gives Gearlock meat a real kick. Lose 3 HP from fire ant bites, and you cannot recover your HP during the recovery phase tonight. Oh, 3. I'd be at 1 health. But I do not want to lose my loot. I just spent all this time unlocking that trove loot. Oh, I don't think when you lose loot, you don't lose trove loot. Actually, that is true, because they consider trove loot like you hide it in a specific spot. Ricky Royal actually said that. So I wouldn't lose my trove loot. But I love that throwing axe and the mixed berries. Let's try it. I'll try it. I'll have to discard my regular loot and draw 2 new ones. Of course, that's if I actually succeed. Alright, looking for 3 force here. 3F. Oh, I can re-roll 1. So I failed completely, but I can re-roll this one. So this one has the most force. Let's see what we get. Oh, 2, 2, and 2, 1, and 2, and I can add +1. There is no force in sight there. Now, normally you get to roll a second time on your first failed attempt, but I think that's for trove loot. So I think I just totally fail here, and I lose 3 out of the 4 of my health. Even though that's the case, I do think I still get 1 progress, and I still get a training point, because I still completed it. I didn't do it the right way, so to speak, but I still completed this. So I'm going to say that I still get the progress and I still get the training point. And I can't heal overnight here because those fire ants bit me. We'll take another step towards that Goblin King. And I've been thinking about this. This might actually not have been a bad thing, and I'll show you why. With my training point, I think I'm going to get multi-arrow. This is going to let me attack more than 1 person or more than 1 baddie at one time. And depending on how many I get in my number, it might be 2 others, or a total, or I should say 1 other, or 2 others if I roll that. That means I would actually get to attack 3 people with whatever I roll on my attack dice. Oh, that would be awesome. Based on how I read that card, I can't do the heal my health for the recovery, but I think I can still use my loot. So I'm going to use mixed berries, and I'm going to heal myself for 5 HP. Well, that'll just put me back up to 4. But 1, 2, 3. I am going to heal myself to full. If you think that's wrong, let me know, and I'll make sure to put a closed caption about it, but I'm pretty sure I can do that. And because I'm not healing during my recovery phase, I can do a trove loot test, and I can try and lockpick a 5 force and open this trove loot. This one I definitely can re-roll, so I'm going to look for 5 force. I get 2 tries. 2 force, and I can re-roll any of these. Oh, this has a 3F on it. I'm going to try it. Come on. 5 force is a lot. Oh my gosh! That's it! 2 plus 3 is 5 force. Yes! Hoping this is something good. Let's flip it over. Ooh, Reflex Powder Tin. I now have another backup plan extension. For 1 bone, I can give up 1 bone and reroll any 1 die this turn. Ooh, the long-term effects are questionable at best, but I've never seen Piglet able to defend so quickly. I like this. That will be good. Time's ticking away. Let's go to day 6.